Tennessee gets their baseball team back in Ahuna, and they get Tony Vitello back as well. So a big day for the Vols, and the fact that it wrapped up that quickly has to be encouraging, Caleb, because I wondered if this would drag past a Monday. I'd been told that they'd have an announcement Monday, but I kind of wondered. I made some parallels with the Bruce Pearl situation, but I don't think it's going in that direction. Still, there could be more things that come out. But ultimately, what did you think about the way things panned out for Tennessee? I thought it was very significant, and please hit that like button. We would greatly appreciate it. It looks like Tennessee's got everything cleaned up at this point.
Yeah, and I got to give you a shout out. You kind of called this yesterday, and I'm going to say I think you were right. It looks like Tennessee just felt there was no harm in throwing Tony Vitello under the bus for a little while if they had to. And quite honestly, if you're going to throw a coach under the bus, baseball's not a bad sport to do it, because let's compare baseball, basketball, and football. Now, I'm not talking about running a program, but in terms of in-game strategy, Dave, let's be honest, baseball is like the least important for the coach to be on the sidelines or in the dugout when that's happening. You don't really need your coach on the field. You play the same either way, I feel like, unlike basketball or football. So you can afford to suspend your coach in baseball, and gets them out ahead of this. I think that it was a way to send a message to the NCAA that we're handling this. And yeah, I think they come out looking okay because of that.
Travis says I'm a glass half empty kind of guy. No, I'm really not. I just like to bring things to the light that maybe you don't think of, because let's face it, if you're a Tennessee fan, you heard the news on Friday and you're hoping that it's all done and by Monday, and it probably is all done by Monday, even going back to Friday. And but I'll say this, I've seen these situations explode before, and I think there's a 1% chance that it could continue to happen. But here's the thing. I talked to somebody that had really strong ties with Tennessee's baseball program yesterday, and that is this is something that Tony Vitello is going to have to deal with, and I don't think he cares, okay? But there is nobody in the baseball community that feels sorry for him. There is nobody in the baseball community that would not provide a tip to get him in trouble. I'm specifically pointing the finger at Arkansas, where he's got ties there. Vanderbilt, which dominated the state and was incredibly unfair in the way they were. And I know a little bit about this because my son's trying to get into Vanderbilt, the way they're able to offer financial aid. I mean, basically you could get a quarter of your scholarship paid for, your school paid for at Tennessee, or you could get a full ride at Vanderbilt. You've got to be a pretty big UT fan to pass up that education at Vanderbilt that's completely paid for. And they found a loophole. So I think Vanderbilt doesn't like Tennessee and what they're able to do with transfers and what they're able to do with NIL money. I don't think Arkansas likes Tennessee because of the ties there. I don't think there's any love lost. So in the baseball, college baseball community, there are plenty of Tony Vitello enemies, and that's not going to change. But he just has to kind of walk the straight and narrow, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, and we've covered enough coaches in all sports in the past to know that you have to be careful when you make enemies, because I'm thinking in my mind, all right, Dave, I'm going to throw out 3 names to you, okay? And I want to know if Tony Vitello, who he strikes you the most like. We said Bruce Pearl yesterday. That's one, right? We also said I'm seeing remember Will Wade at LSU, how much he rubbed people the wrong way in basketball? And now those are the worst case scenarios. Best case scenario is Steve Spurrier, who rubbed everybody the wrong way, but kind of everybody likes him now.
Yeah, Will Wade is an interesting one, because I believe, from what I was told when he took the LSU job, that he was ready to cheat. So that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. They thought he was an up-and-coming coach, and they thought that he was going to be able to pick a job where you didn't have to cheat. In basketball circles, LSU is a program that you have to cheat to win. And so they were very disappointed, and then it turns out he did cheat. I don't think Tony Vitello is cheating. I think he made a boo-boo with the Maui Ahuna thing. I think he probably contacted him at the wrong time. Now, John asked a question on the message board, and John, I'm just going to be real honest with you. And Caleb's learned this about me. I'll tell you stuff I know. I'll tell you stuff I think. And I'll tell you stuff that I'm really not sure about right now. So John says, was Vitello's suspension involving Ahuna? Thought that was a Class 3 violation and usually don't involve suspensions. That's true. I can't tell you 100% that they're tied together. Now, the timing would make you think so, but not exactly, because Ahuna was held out the week before, and then came the Vitello thing. So I can't tell you 100%. I think that would be it. I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you hope that would be it. So that leads me to the next question. Why would you suspend Tony Vitello if it's just a Class 3 violation, which is pretty low in the totem pole? Well, it's because your football team is under investigation by the NCAA, and you just want to go to Tony Vitello and you say, hey, buddy, we got your back. I want you to know this. We need to suspend you if that's okay, because football is still under the microscope. That's what I believe. Can I tell you 100% certain on this day that that's the case? No, but that's what I believe, Caleb. Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think for the reason I was bringing earlier, because, again, you don't really suffer when you suspend your coach in baseball for games. I mean, coaches set. It's not like Tony Vitello can't tell his pitching coach what lineup to set or who to start ahead of the game. It's not like he can't do it. You know, any strategy, 95% of strategy in coaching in baseball is before the game. You don't really need to be in the dugout except for when you determine to take a pitcher out. And that's pretty much it. And so, I mean, yeah, I think it causes them no harm to suspend them in a non-SEC series for 3 games. You're right. The football program's under investigation. This was all about getting out ahead of things, and they all kind of agreed on it. And I'm with you. I don't think Tony Vitello cares that he got suspended, quite honestly. So I think they're all in on this together, just like you said, to save the football program.
Can I pull back the curtain a little bit? And if you guys don't mind, on the message board. So for those that think I'm a glass half full type of guy, listen, we, even going back when we started June the 6th, we got a tremendous response on baseball. So we had a record day in terms of number of clicks on a Sunday, which was bizarro. So anybody that thinks I'm against Tennessee baseball, you're crazy. Something to talk about in April and May. Caleb, I'm down. I might become a donor for Tennessee's baseball team. Keep it rolling, baby.
Yeah, in particular unless you have an entertaining college basketball team, which Tennessee does not have, it's hard to even talk about college basketball and keep up the clicks until March Madness. And so, yeah, if baseball's doing well in February, we all want to see it do well. And you're right. We benefit, guys, if Tennessee goes to the College World Series. That's something for us to cover, and that's more clicks for us. So, yeah, we don't have it out for Tennessee baseball whatsoever.
No, and Smoky Mountain Red said, Danny White was the athletic director, said, look, buddy, take a few days off with pay. That is the optimal scenario. Okay. And do I think there's a good chance that happened? Yes, I do. The bigger concern would be, if there's something else out there, and that's how they reacted. I had a question. The segment with John Adams has been nixed. No, it has not. John will be with us. He's got some things to tend to, but we're looking forward to having John each and every Tuesday. So let me go ahead and as we look at this baseball situation, I want to get to a very special segment that we love in honor of Norm Macdonald. You're like, why Norm Macdonald? Because he had a sports show, and he had a segment called What the H, and Norm Macdonald's the funniest man that's ever walked the face of the earth. And we're going to get to Tennessee's commitment, by the way. But this program and What the H brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. City Heating and Air Conditioning integrity matters. When we come up on those cold days and maybe your HVAC unit isn't doing exactly what it should, then you know with City Heating and Air Conditioning that they will take care of your unit. You may not need a brand new one. Other people are going to tell you that. So What the H brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning.
What the? What was he thinking?
Release the hounds.
The Dave Hooker Show.
Keep cool.
A presentation of OffTheHookSports.com.
Did Danny White overreact in sitting Tony Vitello based off what we know now, and more could come out this afternoon, more could come out tomorrow. I don't know, but based off what we know, and I believe it was the contact with Ahuna. Did he overreact? Yay or nay, Caleb Calhoun?
Yay, but I think it was a good. I don't think there was anything wrong with him overreacting. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Maybe an overreaction, but it's like when you take your car in and you have the oil levels checked, and you say, "Can you go ahead and check the tires too, and make sure they've got the right amount of air pressure in them?" Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, just for reference, my dog was in a scuffle last week, and I saw a little blood on his stomach, so I took him to the doctor. Was mostly fine, but did I overreact? Yes. Do I have a problem that I overreacted? No.
No, I don't think you overreacted at all. So, and Travis says, nope, he is setting an example as well. I agree with that. Smoky Mountain Red said, hey, as a long Tennessee fan, you cannot help but go down that path with a decade of despair, talking about it could be more serious. Again, I don't think it is, but certainly if it wasn't announced as early as it was on Monday, I would be on this show right now telling you that I think that there could be more. But I don't think there's more. I think that's it. I think it would be an indefinite suspension if it was something serious. And remember, they held a big press conference for Pearl and all that. And he came back and coached for a while, and news just kept coming out. And
that fake crying that he was doing in that press conference, that really ugly cry.
Yeah, that was quite the press conference to behold.